Prague Quadrennial was first explained to me as something that would change the way I designed and the way I looked at theatre itself. Strangely, it wasn't the festival that did that. It was the entire experience in the city of Prague that really changed everything for me. This 10-day event that occurred every 4 years brought together like-minded people from all over the world and was what my trip was centered around. But roaming the streets of the Czech Republic alone and immersing myself in strange interactive experiences and so much more is really what made me love this trip so much. At the PTU, countries from all over the world had set up exhibits. What was amazing was there weren't too many boundaries or restrictions of what they were and what they could be, and that just made them so much more better. While just walking around, there'd be performances and just things happening that just sit back and watch. I was surrounded by so many cultures in this one city that had so much history and beauty in itself. Prague has an amazing charm that somehow mesh the two worlds of an artist and a tourist's dream. With the city being so old, you'd think that they'd be stuck in the past. But if anything, it was more of the opposite. The public transport, the art, the theatres and the shows were just something else. And it almost felt like I was in a different world. Through it all, I was lucky enough to sit down and listen to different perspectives from people around me. Some of whom I'd known from before and some of whom I'd just met. Just hearing about what they had to say about the shows we watched and the exhibits we just saw really made you wonder how much you really know. Our professor who convinced us to go on this trip, Rob Eastman-Mullins, who has been going to the PTU ever since 2003, really made this trip what it was. He introduced me to folks I wouldn't have met otherwise and really made sure we did things that made us embrace the city and take full advantage of all the time we had there. Whether it was performances or looking at certain exhibits or just taking some time out to have a meal, it was really special. Most often we just focus on what's appealing to us visually. However, the exhibits really made it a point to stimulate all your senses. And that's what the PTU really taught me. Because each time you walked around the PTU or walked into an exhibit, it felt like you were in a different time and space. And it was executed so brilliantly. There was one piece from Denmark which was so memorable. It was a sort of mini theatre which had a set of drawers in front of you. And when you chose to open a drawer, you would trigger a cue that would cause visuals to appear and sounds to be played that correlated to a different Shakespeare play, also linking to the items in that drawer. So simple yet just so brilliant. Another one of my favorite memories from the trip was a design workshop in which we had to think about a new theatre space. And we were divided into different teams, which had people from different backgrounds in different theatre disciplines. My group had people from Egypt, Chile, the UK and Denmark. And like always with theatre, it's putting it all together that gives you the most satisfaction. And after a few hours, we presented our work with all the others and it was just so rewarding, I guess. And if anything, that's one word that really describes this entire experience for me. The week I spent in Prague wasn't just about the exhibits. To me, it was about the people you met, the connections you made, and experiencing a whole new culture in a city I've never been to. It was special. In come 2027, I would like to go back to Prague for the next edition. To not just see what the world has to offer with the art and the exhibits, but also to see how far I've come. Thank you to everyone who made that week what it was, because it's one I won't forget for a long time to come.